Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Kanishk and in today's video we're going to discuss how to get a consulting job in India. So a lot of students in India try to apply for consulting jobs, but unfortunately there are not a lot of resources out there to understand what is consulting and what is the usual interview process. Having worked at a consulting firm myself, I know how confusing this can be. So through this video, I will try to shed light upon what are the different kinds of consulting jobs, how to apply for consulting roles, and how to prepare for the same. As soon as someone says consulting, the first thing that comes to mind is MBB, that is McKinsey, BCG, and Bain. But that is not the end of it. It is very important to understand that what are the different kinds of consulting and accordingly what are the different companies that you can target as a job applicant. So the first type of consulting that we are going to discuss is management consulting. In this, a company hires a consulting firm to seek help in different types of problems that they might be facing. The role of the consultant is to understand the problem, identify the reasons behind it, and provide actionable steps to solve the same. McKinsey, BCG, and Bain are some of the top management consulting companies that help their clients across a variety of problems that they are facing. Next, we have is strategy consulting. Now, from an outsider's point of view, it might seem very similar to management consulting, but to understand it simply, strategy consulting firms focuses mainly on strategic decisions of companies. So for example, if company A should acquire company B or not, or if company A should enter other markets or not. So these are strategic decisions of any company in which they hire strategy consultants to guide them in the same. Now, in addition to management consulting and strategy consulting, there are some firms who hold specialized expertise in certain domains. For example, finance consulting, IT consulting, marketing consulting, and they work specifically in those areas for their clients. Nowadays, social impact consulting is also one of the segments that is coming up. A lot of international and Indian companies are working in this space where they help their clients in analyzing their social impact and how they can work on the same. So now that we've understood the different kinds of consulting firm, let's move on to the main question that you might be having in mind, and that is how to get a consulting job through off-campus process. So before I start with this, I would like to make it clear that there is no short method of getting a consulting job. And that is because a lot of these companies have certain target schools in their mind from which they recruit. But having said so, I will provide some actionable steps that you can undertake to ensure that you get maximum number of interview calls and hence would be able to land a job. Now, if you're just starting your job hunt journey, the first step that I would suggest is to make a long list of companies that you would like to target. Make this list as exhaustive as possible and don't restrict yourself to just MBB. The goal is to get maximum number of interviews to ultimately increase your chances of getting an offer. Now that you have an exhaustive list, the second step is to proactively track all the happenings and announcements of that company. So the three ways to do that is, first, go onto the company website and register your email for the newsletter and the updates. Second is to follow the company page on LinkedIn as they actively put job openings there. And third is to add recruiters from all the companies that you're targeting on LinkedIn. The reason why this is very important is that consulting firms don't broadcast their job openings because of the limited seats available. Hence, it is very important for you to track all the updates from that company. Once you see any opening from any company through the method we just discussed, you have to actively fill out that form and send in your CV to the respective recruiter. So the next method that we are going to be discussing is cold outreach via LinkedIn message. Now a lot of you might be wondering that is this method even helpful? Would anyone even reply? Well, if you reach out to the right kind of people, then they surely will. And even if your response rate is 10%, you would be able to push in your CV to the recruiter and would ultimately get certain interview calls. So let me show you how you can do this. Open your LinkedIn search and go to the company's page. Over here, check for people who have consulting roles and have been in the firm for 2+ years. These are the people that you should be targeting for your cold outreach. Add them in your network and ask them that if they could guide you to the recruiter or if they can let you know that when would be the next recruitment cycle so that you can send in your CV. Now, this might look like a tedious process, but warm introduction is the most effective method of getting a consulting job. These companies get a lot of inbound inquiries every year. Hence, if a person already working there refers your CV to the recruitment team, then it significantly increases your odds of getting an interview call. So, a quick recap of what we've discussed so far is that first, you have to make a long list of companies you want to target. Second, you have to actively track all the job openings of that company. And third is to reach out to people who are already working there and send in your CV. So now that you've understood that how to apply to consulting companies, next comes the case interview prep. So to all of you who are not aware of what exactly this is, let me quickly explain. Usually management consulting firms have a very standard recruitment process, which is different from other companies. This includes two parts, HR round and case interview round. You are usually interviewed by people at different levels in the company, starting from associate to partner. And the focus of HR versus case interview keeps changing as you progress. So first, let's understand what is a case interview. To understand this simply, in this the interview will give you a hypothetical situation which you have to solve logically and then tell the interviewer what you feel is the best solution for the same. So to give an example, company A's profits are declining and the interviewer will ask you why. Now you have to figure out that whether it is a cost related problem or a revenue related problem. So the next part is HR interview. HR interview is nothing but understanding your story. What you've done so far, why do you want to do consulting, and how consulting will help you in future. You need to be very clear with all these questions and how exactly consulting fits into the bigger picture. You should also be very thorough with all the pointers that you have written in your CV, whether it is internships, whether it is position of responsibility, or the various competitions that you've taken part in, and also what are your learnings from all these things. Now I understand that I have covered the case interview prep part very briefly, but if you'd like me to make a detailed video on this, then do drop a comment below. So now we come to the last section of this video, and that is case prep material or how to prepare for these cases. Now there are various kind of cases which can be asked in these interviews. For example, profitability, market entry, as well as growth. Now to understand this better, there are various frameworks that are built which can be learned. So here are a few resources that you can use for your case interview prep. First comes is YouTube. Now there are two channels that I would highly recommend. First is Victor Cheng videos and second is case interview cracked videos. Here you can get started with case interview prep, you can understand the basics and what are the different frameworks. Once you are well versed with the frameworks, you can move on to the case books. The books that I recommend are Case in Point, Case Interview Cracked and ISB cases. There are many other books as well, but I would strongly recommend to stick to these books first, and once you're done with them, then only go to the other books. Also, do ensure that you're not doing your case prep alone. You should really have one or two partners with whom you can practice these cases. These days, a lot of online communities are also coming up where you can find your case prep partner. Lastly, from my personal experience, all I can say is don't go into consulting just for the lifestyle. You should really talk to the people working there to understand what exactly is their work and how does their day look like. And if there is any question in which I can help you, then do drop it in the comment section below, or you can add me on LinkedIn and I would be more than happy to help you out. I hope you found this video helpful. I would be more than happy to make more videos on consulting, and if there are specific topics within consulting that you would like. Do like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and if you want to know more about consulting, then do drop it in the comment section below and I will try to make another video on it.